I don't believe in God.
Why? How can you not believe in God?
Extraordinary claims need extraordinary evidence.
You don't need evidence for the authenticity of your father and mother. Have you checked their DNA?
You are not giving a logical reasoning to belief in God.
How is it possible for anything to come into existence from nothing?
If God created this universe, then who created God?
Science cannot prove God.
Even if it does, I'm ready to accept. About a concept of a supreme
God.
being.
There are majority of
from
people who
mythological
believe in
stories
God,
written
and those
for
who
human
doesn't believe
society
in God
full
get
of
freedom for
humanness.
anything to do.
These are
And this
hypotheses.
atheists
an
always
ad
talk
hominem
about logic
fallacy
and reasoning,
to believe
but
someone's
they
personal
themselves
faith,
lack the
which
logic
is a
behind
disconnect.
God's non-existence.
Until new scientific discoveries emerge, we cannot assert anything definitively. Without evidence.
So everyone might have got an idea about what's coming in this video. Before starting the discourse, I would like to introduce myself and my purpose behind this video. Hi, I am Samdani, a seeker of life. It's been a long I started thinking critically about all the aspects of life in philosophical way. There are 3 years of my observation, research and deep introspect about the mindsets of theists and atheists. I wanted to show how some people react and answer to the questions regarding the existence of God. I made 2 characters of an atheist and a theist. I tried to bring up best possible responses and attitudes from both of them as I have seen personally in general. My purpose is to promote the culture of critical thinking, whereas some people believe things blindly. I also wanted to show a respectful conversation between 2 different opinion holders in the era of internet controversy and toxicity. I hope you will enjoy this video.
Hello there, Mr. Theist. You seem to be in a very cheerful mood, huh?
Yeah, by the grace of God.
Well, I think it has to do with human psychology, not God.
Why are you saying such?
I don't believe in God.
Why? How can you not believe in God?
Because I have never seen God, and there is no evidence to support this statement. It's all about belief.
Well, have you seen air? We can't see air, pain, happiness, but they exist, right? That's how God also exists. You cannot say God doesn't exist just because you have never seen.
Air, happiness, pain, all these things cannot be seen, but they can be felt with our sensory organs. We need to have solid evidence, which can be proved scientifically, just like microorgans. We know their existence because of a microscope. Happiness, pain are emotions, and they can't be compared to a supreme being who is considered a king figure of this world. We not only need to feel him, we need to see him in order to prove his existence. If we can't get it in any way, how can I believe there is a God? Extraordinary claims need extraordinary evidence.
You don't need evidence for the authenticity of your father and mother. Have you ever doubted them? Have you checked their DNA?
The logical approach to see this is, we can see our caretakers. We can't see God. You are not giving a logical reasoning to belief in God. You are saying that I have to believe in God, whether his existence is doubtful, by adding an emotional touch. Where it's logically possible to prove anyone's DNA, but it's impossible to prove God's existence.
Well, how you think there is no entity who created this vast world with so much perfection, even if you think about laws of physics, how they came into existence, by nothing? How is it possible for anything to come into existence from nothing?
Well, if you think there should be someone who created this universe, it's a hypothesis you are creating. Even if I go with your logic, you are saying there is nothing which can come out from nothing. Then your argument itself will fool you when you will be questioned. If God created this universe, then who created God? Tell me the answer.
There might be an endpoint where everything starts from going backwards. God has started everything. There was no one before God, but nothing can come out from nothing. This is God who brought everything into existence. This is the absolute nature of God.
You are conflicting with your own logic, but hiding with some manipulation of words. If there should be a limit, then what is the proof that the God is that limit? That means you have to agree with the fact that God has also come into existence from nothingness.
We cannot question from where God came. Also, you cannot know the truth by using your scientific method. Because science cannot prove God.
How are you sure that science cannot prove God? Even if it does, I'm ready to accept. But until now, science has kept us in a quest. When we have zero data about a concept of a supreme being which comes only from mythological stories written for human society with full of humanness, it's certain that the concept is none other than human-made concept.
Even there are so much theories that scientists themselves say that can prove God. And for that, we should not rely on the general way of look at it.
These are hypotheses, and it's an ad hominem fallacy to believe someone's personal faith, which is a disconnected matter to his popularity or profession. If you think whatever scientists say, if they match with your beliefs, those could be taken as final truth, then you are putting your belief itself, the defining factor. Even if I agree there is someone who created this universe, then which God should I believe in? Because everyone is an atheist for the other religion, because he doesn't believe in the God of that particular religion, but believes in an other God.
It's indeed a test of God. That is why every single person doesn't get the correct path. That is why different people follow different gods. But there is one absolute God, which we should worship.
There are thousands of religions. If you really want to know the truth, you have to go through every single religious text, and it will need more than one's entire life to do all these in the busy life of people.
This is an excuse for you for not to believe in God. There are a majority of people who believe in God, and those who doesn't believe in God get freedom for anything to do, and this freedom leads them to do wrong things. So there should be someone who controls everything and make judgment on the doings and wrongdoings.
You are expressing your opinion as what should be and what should not. But our topic was, what is there? Culture, context, everything differs in terms of different geographical lands. That's how morality differs place to place. Every religion has mythological stories of their own lands and no mention of other parts of the world.
Our topic is not about religion. It's about the God, the creator.
Where does the concept of God come from? Isn't it religion? Are not the kids told stories of God or gods, goddesses regarding the religion they are born into?
But you are shifting the topic to make mockery of religions so that you can escape from the main question of existence of a supernatural being.
Well, I already gave my points on that, but you couldn't break my arguments. When you are trying to prove God, you bring up topics like justice, morality, etc. They are heavily related to religions.
Well, please prove that God doesn't exist. What logical reasoning you have for your atheism that rejects the idea of God? Atheists always talk about logic and reasoning, but they themselves lack the logic behind God's non-existence. How atheism makes sense then? I challenge this notion by highlighting the lack of conclusive evidence supporting the non-existence of God. While atheism relies on empirical evidence and logical reasoning, the absence of empirical evidence proving God's non-existence does not validate atheistic claims. Atheism commonly argues against the existence of God based on philosophical and logical arguments, but these arguments lack definitive proof. Therefore, atheism's rejection of God's existence is not logically substantiated and leaves room for skepticism.
Atheism isn't about asserting the non-existence of God, but rather rejecting the claim made by theists that God exists. Theists often rely on faith rather than evidence or reasoning to support the existence of God. In contrast, atheists refrain from making claims about supernatural beings because there is no solid foundation confirming their existence. The truth is, we don't know whether God exists or not, and it's possible we may never fully understand the mysteries of the universe. Until new scientific discoveries emerge, we cannot assert anything definitively. Without evidence, there's no reason to believe in something that lacks relevance in our current understanding of the world. Theories about God's existence merely offer possibilities, not guarantees. Ultimately, the concept of God is interchangeable with various interpretations and imaginations, making it a subjective construct rather than an objective reality.
Well, I already made my point. Audience will clear out.
I'm with you on that. I've put forth my best arguments today. Thank you for the lively discussion, Mr. Theist.
Yeah, pleased to meet you. Hope you will understand one day.
Haha, and maybe you'll see things differently too.